All right, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're gonna, deep dive into some really well-known music,
Mm,
specifically Vivaldi.
okay.
And,
I love Vivaldi.
everybody's heard Vivaldi's Spring, right?
Yeah.
But we're gonna go kind of deeper into it than maybe you have before, and really think about how he creates this feeling
Yeah.
of, spring.
The Four Seasons? Spring specifically.
Yeah, specifically the second movement,
Okay.
the Largo, right?
Great.
So we've got this, famous work by Vivaldi, The Four Seasons, and we're going to be looking at the second movement.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, just in general, talk about Vivaldi for a second.
Okay.
Like what kind of composer is he? What era? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Vivaldi was a Baroque composer,
Um,
which is a period of music kind of from the 1600s to the mid-1700s.
Okay.
And during this time, there was a lot of emphasis on ornamentation and, really like beautiful melodies and stuff. And Vivaldi was really good at, creating beautiful music with lots of energy, lots of excitement, and
Yeah, I think about Baroque music as being very, I don't know, sort of like mathematical and like precise.
yes,
Down to the
definitely. There's a lot of structure in it.
Yeah.
And there's actually a lot of rules that they had to follow when they were composing this music.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so there are all these rules.
Yes.
But then he's also trying to create this like emotional experience of
Yes.
spring, right?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And the cool thing about Vivaldi's music is that he wrote what are called like programs to go
Right.
along with the music. So he would actually write little poems,
Oh, wow.
or descriptions of what he was trying to portray in the music.
Oh, so he's telling you like what it's supposed to be about.
Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So what does he say about this movement?
Okay, so for the Largo, he's depicting this like beautiful, peaceful scene with a shepherd who's like sleeping in the meadow. His flock is all around him.
Yeah.
And you can hear the birds chirping and the rustling leaves and like all of this nature happening around him.
So this is like the middle of the day.
Yeah, kind of like a lazy afternoon.
It's like the siesta or something.
Exactly.
Okay, so he's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
The sheep are around.
Mm.
It's kind of interesting that he would focus on like a sleepy shepherd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's such a peaceful scene.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And I think he does a really good job of using the music to portray that.
Okay, so how does he do that musically? Like what are some of the things that he does to make it feel that way?
So one thing is the melody.
Okay.
The melody is really simple and it stays within a pretty narrow range.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like jumping all over the place.
Right.
It's just kind of like gentle and flowing.
So it's like the range of the notes isn't like really high and then really low. It's kind of all just...
Exactly. It's kind of like all in one area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And that kind of creates a sense of like calmness and tranquility.
Right. Like nothing too exciting is happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what about the rhythm? Does that have something to do with it too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So the rhythm is really slow and gentle, almost like the breathing of someone who's asleep.
Oh, okay.
It just kind of like lulls you into this relaxed state.
Yeah.
And the way that the solo violin interacts with the orchestra also adds to that.
Okay.
The orchestra plays these long, sustained notes that are kind of like a backdrop,
Okay.
and then the violin kind of floats above it with these beautiful lyrical lines. It's
Yeah.
very pretty.
So it's like this contrast between the solo instrument and the orchestra, which is kind of giving you this,
Yeah, it's like a foundation.
yeah, this foundation, this background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then another thing that Vivaldi does is he uses dynamics.
Okay.
So dynamics are how loud or soft the music is. And in the Largo, he keeps the music mostly soft,
Okay.
which again contributes to that feeling of peacefulness.
So he's not like suddenly blasting you with like, oh, fortissimo.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very subtle.
Yeah.
It's all about subtlety.
That's really interesting. So it's like all these little choices
Yes.
that he's making
Mm-hmm.
that, maybe you don't even notice consciously, but they're all working together to create this.
Subconsciously, yeah. Exactly. And that's the genius of Vivaldi, I think,
Yo.
is that he can use these subtle things to create such a powerful effect.
But it's not all like sleepy shepherds in spring,
Oh,
right?
definitely not. Yeah.
Like, there are other movements where it's like much more energetic.
Absolutely, yeah. The first movement, for example, is very lively. It's got lots of like bird song and, the feeling of spring arriving and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses a lot of like faster tempos
Yeah.
and higher notes. And
Yeah.
it's much more energetic.
So he's able to create this contrast
Right.
within the same piece, right?
Exactly. And that's what makes the Four Seasons so interesting.
Right.
Is that it's not just like one mood throughout the whole thing.
Right.
It's
So-
like a journey through all the different aspects of each season.
So do you think that, somebody listening to this, they're like, well, this is all very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But do I really need to know all this stuff?
Yeah.
Like to enjoy it?
I think that you can definitely enjoy the music without knowing any of the technical details.
Okay.
But I think that understanding those details can deepen your appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you see a beautiful painting,
Yeah.
you can appreciate it just for its beauty.
Yeah.
But if you understand the techniques that the artist used
Yeah.
and the choices that they made,
Yeah.
then you can appreciate it on a whole other level.
It's like the knowledge can give you like another layer.
Yes, enjoyment.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Okay, that makes sense. So I guess, wrapping up here, we've got this piece, this movement from Vivaldi's Spring.
Mm-hmm.
He creates this really vivid image
Yes.
of this like peaceful, afternoon using
Yeah.
all these different techniques.
Yes.
And it's just amazing. It's kind of amazing to think about the power of music
Mm-hmm.
to do that.
Absolutely.
So I guess anything else that you would add to that?
I guess just as a final thought, I would encourage the listeners to, go back and listen to the Largo again.
Yeah.
Maybe with these, ideas in mind and see if they can hear the things that we've been talking about.
Yeah, like listen for those.
Exactly. Listen for the dynamics, listen for the range of the melody,
Yeah.
and just see how Vivaldi is using those things to create this really peaceful atmosphere.
And even beyond the specific piece, you can even think about this
Absolutely.
when you're listening to other Baroque music
Yeah.
or other music in general, right?
Definitely.
Like how are composers using these
Mhm.
techniques to create these
Yeah.
these effects?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a great place to leave it. So thanks for being with us today,
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
All right. Sounds good.